Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ethan here, but today I have a weird video just because it's based off of a topic of a video that never actually got uploaded, so it's a little weird. But I was basically talking about custom airsoft guns and how I would prefer to have my own trademark. What the heck? I would rather have my own trademarks than have somebody put trademarks on there for me with some company that I don't even know. I know these trademarks that I made are out of Sharpie. I'm going to replace them later if I ever figure out how to actually sketch them on. But I'm basically trying to make a silver 1911 kind of Hitman style. There's definitely some Hitman inspired things on this gun. Right now, here's primer that I was gonna paint it chrome, but it actually makes more sense to scratch it off with sandpaper, and it also gets the silver. But here is the part that I got. The part that is inspired by Hitman is the custom slide-out multi-California automatic caliber .45, because that's on the Hitman one. I was actually originally going to make it just like Hitman. Problem is, Hitman sign is a little complicated, so I figured that it'd be easier for me to just put my own personal symbol on there. I don't know. Freaking name, man. I don't know if you guys can see this all too well. Now here, let me take out the magazine so it's easier to stand. But yeah, I think I did a pretty crappy job. But tomorrow all of this is going to be silver, just like the top. And you know, I thought this kind of looked Arctic. Oh snapple, which I thought was pretty cool. But other than that, that's pretty much all I had to say. I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I said, my friend gave me his airsoft gun because it was non-functional, so thank you. But yeah, I'm just going to go over it tomorrow and sandpaper it and make it look awesome. So, bottom line for today's topic is, you know, essentially why atheism makes sense to me. Now, I understand that most of you guys don't want to hear me rambling about God and, you know, all that other ridiculous things. But it really put me to, like, okay, really? Because today in religion, we had to read the most ridiculous chapters in the entire Bible, in my opinion, and that is Genesis 1 and 2. Now, if you don't know what Genesis 1 and 2 is, it's basically where creationists get their high off of. That's their whole theory of the world is 6,000 years old, and that, you know, there was an Adam and Eve, and that the entire human race spawned from two humans rather than the theory of evolution, which, kill yourself. But it really doesn't make sense to me. There's a lot of things about religion that don't make sense to me, and I'm not saying that I'm turning to atheism because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense because it's more than likely not true. Because when you think about it, you know, I've heard people say that Jesus is the Son of God, and then Jesus is God. That doesn't make sense. You can't be the son of yourself. So that's the first problem I have, but that's a minor thing. There's a lot of things. The fact that science, the creation of the universe, and the creation of what, you know, all the Jesus lovers out there think would happen, does not match up with modern science. And they're all like, well, I don't believe in science. You can't not believe in science. Science is the foundation for any discoveries in this world that you will ever hear about. And one thing that bugs me about creationists is that they're so arrogant and ignorant that they're like the world is 6,000 years old and whatever, and yet there's dinosaur fossils that date back more than 65 million years ago. And even if the carbon dating is off a little bit, 65 million years ago on the Earth, there's no way that could have been mistaken for 6,000 years ago. So right there, ain't creationist, you're done. There's nothing you can argue. And then people say because of the prophecies in the Bible that have supposedly been fulfilled, because they were like, a nation was born, one of the prophecies that's in the Bible is that a nation will be born in a day, which they're saying is Israel, because, but that's a stupid answer, just because, one, how do you know whoever wrote that part of the Bible was talking about that specific country, and two, that doesn't point anything to God, just because, and all the countries have, if you want to look at it like this, If you want to look at it like this, all countries have one day where they technically become a nation. Like America, 4th of July. So it's like, whatever. And there's so many flaws with Christianity that it's really, they're saying that, oh yeah, we don't want to live in the New Testament because they say all these things about God being a vengeful God. Now, let me tell you something. My religion teacher has a master's in theology, so nobody knows more about this idiotic theory. It's not even a theory. It's just a book that I wouldn't even use for toilet paper. Like, I would take poison ivy over the Bible for toilet paper, but that's not my point. He has a master's in theology, and he says that God does not see past, present, and future. He sees it all at once, which first off is stupid, because if he's always answering prayers, if you think about it, if he answers somebody's prayer, that can alter the future, which means that it's complicated and there's so many levels of it, I don't really have time to explain just in this one video. But also, that means that if you don't live where vengeful God or whatever, that vengeful God is vengeful right now because he sees everything as one whole time period, not past, present, and future. He sees the world as practically a YouTube video. He can just scroll through it and change and answer prayers supposedly, and then go back and answer another one. That doesn't make sense. People are like, oh, we don't live in the Old Testament anymore. I was like, if you don't live in the Old Testament anymore, then why don't you throw out, the 10 Commandments and the Genesis story, for those creationists out there that still exist after people, like, it's been proven wrong so many times. Like, and the thing is that even if evolution wasn't real, or evolution was proven wrong, and the Big Bang Theory was proven wrong, that still doesn't mean that God is real. That just means the two foundations for modern science were shut down. That doesn't automatically mean, yes, the only thing competing with the God theory is eliminated, therefore everybody's going to switch to Christianity because there's no other thing to believe in. People can come up with theories all the time and make up their own religions that sound a lot more logical than freaking Christianity. And a subspecies, I'm just going to say subspecies of Christianity is Mormonism. You want to know the story behind Mormonism? Is a 14-year-old kid found a salamander. This salamander talked to him and said that all other religions were wrong, so he had to go and create his own religion. So, in a sense, Mitt Romney takes his religious views not from scientists, but from a 14-year-old that talks to salamanders, that has some kind of personal relationship with a freaking salamander. Like, are you stupid? And another thing that seems ridiculous about Christianity is, you guys have probably heard about this whole Angus T. Jones thing. He's the little kid from, well, he's not little anymore. He's from 2.5 Men. And he basically somehow turned into this Christian guy. And I have a pretty simple explanation for that. He goes, I was doing some bad things. I was taking some acid. And then, I was doing all these drugs. And then, God just found me. I found God or whatever. I was like, yeah, if you're reading the Bible and you're on any kind of drug, I'm sure you'll find a lot of other things besides God. Like, you read freaking Harry Potter, and all of a sudden your top priority is to get into Hogwarts. If you're on freaking acid, the kid's a retard. Like, he's like, don't watch my show, it's filth. Now, as much as you do or don't like the show doesn't matter. The fact that he's calling his own show filth is practically asking to get him fired. So clearly his God isn't leading him in a right path because he's about to get his ass fired for talking trash about his show, which already sucks now anyway because they replaced the funniest dude because he's a psychopath. Okay, he's a drug dealer, or not drug dealer, a drug doer. Like every actor in the entire freaking world is a drug doer, which is stupid, but I'm just, that is basically the premise of why I'm an atheist. Another reason that, this is my final point, is that faith, that was the definition of faith in my book, is the lack of any scientific or reasonable explanation for what you want to believe in. So you're just going to use that to basically throw all that out the window so people can't talk back to you. So when you think about it, someone who's presented with Christianity and they're like, oh, okay, whatever. And they're like, this doesn't seem like, you would think that something that's all the evidence is pointing it to it being nearly wrong, like almost completely wrong. There's got to be some kind of reason why they're believing in it, right? Well, that's a simple answer. They're afraid of going to hell. They're afraid of burning for eternity, which, another stupid thing about the Bible. But they're like, you know what, this is a really stupid concept, but if it is real, I'm going to end up burning. So it's a fear-based premise. People believe, I would say about a good 25% of people that are Christian believe in it because they're afraid to go to hell. So they trick themselves into believing something that they originally would have thought is ridiculous, but they're scared of the consequences of not believing it. Let me just tell you out there, Christians, last point. Out of all the other religions in the world, ones that you don't know about, the major ones, whatever, most of them have consequences for not believing in them. So what if you're wrong and one of those other ones is right? Then you're going to have to suffer the consequences of that one. Have you come to the conclusion that the Christianity consequence is the worst one, so you would rather deal with any of the other religious consequences besides Christianity? I'm waiting for an answer, but clearly you're not going to give me one. So, once again, recap. Trying to make a custom 1911. Don't know if I'm going to keep this white or not. You can see the barrel's nothing's changed about the barrel. It's just a slide, and then I'm going to take the nails off and take the hand grips off. But that's all I had to say, and with that super climactic fall over on my phone, I will see you guys later.